and we even have 20 seconds to spare.
Hello, 20 seconds.
So that gives us 15 seconds for pre-show. 12 seconds for pre-show. 10. Not.
Holy mackerel.
Okay, and I think we can call it now. It is once again time for everyone's favorite internet radio show.
Insert title here.
The show that changes names so frequently, we put a placeholder in. And, I'm here.
Yeah.
Your host, Johnny Gators, along with your other host, Brian Blues, who will be playing the role of the interrupter. And Sir Mars is MIA again, I guess. I send him a link every week. We haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah. Dang, we miss him.
Yeah. Well, he's one of those guys that he'll disappear without a word for a while, and then he'll just show right back up. You never can tell with him if he's going to be around or not. And who else is around? Well, I sent Gothric the link every week, but he's often busy on Mondays, and he usually doesn't see the link until after the show's over. But and he's like, "Man, I got to remember next week." And every now and then he does.
Do you text him, or do you put it on stupid Twitter?
No, I put on
Twitter DMs.
No. For him, I do Facebook Messenger, which he has on his phone.
Which also sucks.
But it's on your phone.
Yeah, but it sucks. I think I probably turned off notifications because it sucks so bad. I rarely use it.
It's a messenger program. You type things back and forth. You read.
You know
them,
what's actually better than fucking Messenger? WhatsApp. It's way better.
You know what? I've reached a point in my life where I just got to say, no, I'm not switching messengers anymore. I was perfectly fine with AOL Instant Messenger. I don't know why we all left that for Facebook anyways. But I got Facebook Messenger now.
They got rid of
I don't
AOL
care where you
Messenger.
all go to. This is what I'm using.
AOL Messenger we quit using because they deleted it because they're jerks.
No, they deleted it years after people quit using it. By the time they deleted it, I was outraged for a whole 5 seconds until I realized, even though I still have my account and even though I had a app that logged into it every day on boot on my computer, I hadn't received a message through that app in at least 5 years.
Sure.
It used to be AOL Instant Messenger and MSN Messenger. And I remember one time I was having problems with the MSN Messenger not playing nice with the... there were... What was it? Pigeon was the app that would tie all the instant messaging apps together into one thing. Because I had...
Does that still exist?
Pigeon probably still exists.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, actually. But I know they kept up with it. And it would tie in AOL Instant Messenger, MSN Messenger, ICQ. I think they made a plugin that makes it work with Facebook Messenger, but that's complicated. MSN basically dumped into Skype, so then it would tie into Skype for messaging, but I never use it for that because Skype's not an instant messaging program, no matter what Microsoft says. And let's face it, Microsoft ruined Skype. They totally trashed it. It's unforgivable what they did to that program. But
sure.
But anyways, I remember at some point MSN updated the MSN Manager application or server side or whatever, and they did it in such a way that it really made it difficult for Pigeon to make an app that still would no, was it MSN or was it Yahoo? One of those apps at some point they broke it so badly that Pigeon basically had a disclaimer / apology for the add-in that you had to install to get it to still work with that. Basically saying, it really sucks. I know it sucks. Please don't complain to me. And I went and I complained to them. And he said, well, there's only two types of people that still use that for messaging. Oil executives in Texas and people looking to hook up with anonymous girls through sex chat rooms.
Right.
And it doesn't look like you're contacting me from Texas.
Right.
And I was like,
yeah, what are you doing? Why are you still using that?
fuck you, man. I just want it to work. You know?
Right.
So I stopped using that.
Oh, by the way, is your Facebook page, your birthday on your Facebook profile, visible to everybody you know? Or is it visible to the entire planet?
Is what visible?
Your
My
birth
Facebook?
date.
Oh, my birth
That's
date?
required to have an account, is a birth date.
I don't know. And I don't really care all that much because I know that,
Actually, you should care very much.
Here's the thing. I would never use my birth date as a security question. And I would, and anything.
It doesn't matter. There's so much shit that can be done just knowing your birthday. It would blow your fucking mind.
Brian, my birthday.
Period.
Any one of our birthdays could be acquired in 10 minutes. So any entity.
So don't make it fucking easy. That's all I'm saying. Don't make it easy.
Brian, this is bullshit. Everyone I'm related to knows my birthday. You know my mother knows my birthday?
Then you don't need it on Facebook. This is exactly my point.
This is not hard to obtain information. Any entity that is giving out information based on someone's birthday deserves the $20 billion lawsuit that they would easily lose for being so stupid as to use someone's birthday as a security. What's that?
From you?
I'm
have the money to sue those people? Do you realize what Amazon just did?
What did they do?
They changed their terms of service to say, we are now no longer going through third-party arbitration for claims. You're going to have to fucking sue us.
Well, that's where...
Do you think you have the money to sue Amazon?
I think someone has the means to bring together a class action suit.
That's going to be very difficult to do.
Brian?
And the lawyers are going to get all the fucking money.
Brian, why should I have to take effort and time out of my day to make sure other people with more money than me don't do stupid things like using our birthdays or security issues? That should not be my thing to waste time with.
I just went to the pharmacy today to get a prescription. The only thing they wanted to know was my birth date.
Okay. Worst case scenario, someone else gets your pills and they have to refill your prescription. Now that's an issue for the pharmacy because the pharmacy is on the hook for giving pills out to someone they shouldn't have.
Again, it's just one thing.
That's one thing. That's one thing I'm not worried about.
To go in Facebook and tell it my birth date is private.
I could do that.
Nobody can see that.
I could do that.
And if you're not doing that, it's because you're fucking lazy or stupid.
But there's 20 million ways to get people's birthdays, Brian.
It doesn't matter. At least you stop that one. How many fake accounts are showing up that show your birth date? Have you looked for yourself on Facebook and say how many copies of you are out there?
Now look it. I'll give you this one. When people start asking quiz have the quiz where they like, hey, if your name was your middle name, what would I call you? Middle names is the type of thing that could show up in security questions because security questions.
I'm not going to argue about that.
Right.
There's plenty of things, including middle names, your address, all kinds of stuff.
But this is why anything important is put behind security that is so secure only the criminals can get it.
That's correct.
That's
right.
that. Those are but the point is that,
of course, then again, if you do a fake birthday, which I'm all on with,
mm-hmm.
then you have to remember that fake birthday. So if it becomes a security question sometimes, which it could, even though you didn't tell it to make it one.
Now, Brian, I think we wished you happy birthday on this show.
Say that again?
I think we've wished you a happy birthday at least once or twice on the show. So I think all our viewers know your birthday. So they're all going to come into your town.
Uh-oh.
And we have mentioned Danville at times. So I think they're going to start scoping
Danville,
all the
Virginia.
Pharmacies.
Danville, Virginia, yes.
So everyone's going to start heading to Danville, Virginia, hitting up all the
Yes.
pharmacies, looking for your prescriptions with your birthday to get all your pills.
You know, I have all of these opioids that I'm prescribed to. So
Are they
go for it.
any good stuff? You want any good stuff that's
Oh,
worth
it's
stealing?
all good stuff.
It's all
Oh,
good
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I kind of related.
Yeah.
I was with my dad a few years ago. Of course, he's been dead for almost 2 years. We went to visit a friend of his that was in a nursing home. He had some kind of a leg injury or something. I kind of forget.
Mm.
He needed us to actually take him to his house to get the checkbook so he could pay the nursing home.
Okay.
And on the way there, he told this interesting story. So, because he was in pain, he was on this opioid, and the prescription was for 21 pills. He actually saw that there were 15 in the bottle. He was counting them as they were being distributed, and he only actually received 11. So even in the nursing home, people were stealing from him.
Damn.
Exactly. Sucking, man, sucking.
You know, and the thing is that I mean, that is an issue. Keeping pills out of the wrong hands.
Yeah.
And as you've demonstrated, people that want to get the criminals that want to get the pills, they will get their pills. But who really suffers when you crack down on that are the people that actually need the pills. Because you know, at some point, they started holding pharmacies legally liable for giving out pills to bad prescriptions. Which it's like, how responsible should the store be for determining whether or not this prescription is valid or not?
So what? So what Connecticut did is, when you get a prescription for one of these pills, you get a very limited number. I don't exactly remember the number.
Which then means you have to make more
You
visits.
have to go make more visits, etc. Exactly.
Right.
But they made it more restrictive to help end this huge opioid problem.
And as a result, people that actually need the pills, at times they would start holding doctors liable that were prescribing the pills. So then doctors didn't want to open themselves up to lawsuits, so they don't want to prescribe the pills. So then a patient that actually needs the pills has to find a doctor that's willing to actually prescribe the pill, because the doctor's like, nah, I think you just need to sleep it off. It's like, well, I'm in fucking
Okay, so moving
pain.
on, government regulation. Do you think that pig farmers should have larger space for their pigs? Or I think also with cows, do they need a bigger space for their cows? Or no, chickens, I guess.
I'm not really prepared to debate this because I'm not.
No, this isn't just kind of off the thought. Is it a good idea? Yes or no?
Brian, I've already read at least one article about this, so I know
Yes. But you have an opinion, yes or no?
I know this is messing with your bacon fix. I know that's where this is going.
Did you saw that? Okay.
Yeah,
all right. But is it a good idea? I honestly think it's a good idea.
I think it's a good idea too.
I
also think it's a good idea.
Here's the problem. Stupid California pushed all these resolutions to the voters to vote on.
Right.
And there's so much fucking information on it that that sounds like a good idea. I'm going to vote for that. Right?
Right.
Not realizing the problem that could come down the road, because we're at the point where, next January, this goes in force, and suddenly we won't have any pork product, including bacon, goddammit, and apparently some chicken products, goddammit. I'm not allowed to grow my own chickens in my own backyard because of my HOA.
Well, then go after your HOA.
I'm going to call the HOA and ask them if I can have a chicken coop.
I would never live in a town with an HOA. You know what? My backyard is my damn backyard. If I want chickens in my backyard,
you know what I could do?
If I want purple polka dots on my house, I will paint purple.
Okay. So I could get a chicken coop in my place in the beach house.
There
because
you
there's
go.
no HOA there.
Oh, there you go. You have the chickens
Right?
at the vacation house.
Yeah. Or the beach house.
And then you'll be that weird guy that keeps giving everyone free eggs, even when they ask you
Exactly.
to stop. Yeah.
The thing is since I'm not there all the time, I would have to have some neighbor that would go in with it on me. He would get all of the eggs that he wants for free,
Yeah.
and then kind of watch the chicks and let me know, oh, we just got some more chicks, and okay, now we're going to grow some chickens so that we can harvest and have some chicken wings. Right?
Right. There you go. There you go. You got to
I
plan
wonder if
there.
it'd be legal to slaughter the chickens in my own backyard.
Well, it was funny because as I've mentioned many times on this show, my summer job growing up was working around the yard and in the office, depending on what summer it was, for the Raritan Valley Disposal, the garbage company my dad worked for at the time. And, he got me summer job doing things around the yard or filing in the office or whatnot. And at some point, there were some disagreements between the garbage company and the guy who bought the house across the street from the garbage company. Disagreement along the lines of the guy who sold me this house told me it was a really small company with only 3 trucks, but it turns out it's actually a moderate-sized company with 30 trucks. And now I got all these garbage trucks that drive out.
By the way,
7 in the
I just
morning.
got a sponsor.
Yeah.
Our sponsor is Google.
Oh.
Didn't we just say bad things about them?
Oh yeah, probably. Let's see. Brought to you by Google. They suck. There we go. We'll do that, and we'll show that, and thank you, Google. So, anyways, as I was saying, so this guy that lived across the street from the garbage company, he didn't like that the garbage company was there. And he would have really loved for the garbage company to disappear. And so he started making life miserable for the garbage company. And it kind of started with he'd call and complain. And the guy who ran the garbage company, being a nice, community guy, he tried to accommodate him.
We shouldn't say that they suck. After all, they're supporting this whole operation.
All right. You know what? We'll go with the opposite of that then. There we go. We'll just fix that right there, and there we go.
They blow. That could be taken as a positive.
That could be. Right there.
Or if you just change it, they suck dick. That would also be positive.
Oh, that depends.
We're really bad, aren't we?
Well, you can find videos of that using Google. Although I find Bing Video is really good at finding porn. But anyways.
Bing is?
Oh, yeah. Video.bing.com. Just, type in what you want to see, and they'll show it to you.
Well, maybe because Bill Gates wants to use that.
I don't know, but it's their video search is much better than Google's when it comes to searching adult content. I will just say.
Wow.
Wow. So, anyways, back to, and this ties into the whole farming space issue and zoning and all that, because the guy across the street from the garbage company was, lied to by the real estate agent, and he bought the house, and he finds out there's 50 trucks rolling out every morning. And so he calls and he complains. And so it's like, okay, no trucks leave the yard until 7 a.m. Wait until 7 a.m. and, don't hit the brakes when you're in the neighborhood. Try to just leave.
Let me just ask you a quick question.
Okay.
Was the garbage company there before he moved into the place?
Yes. But apparently the real estate agent told him it's a really small company with only 3 trucks. And,
So the fucking real estate agent lied?
Yeah. And mind you,
did he sue that realtor and get his commission back?
I don't know that end of it. But this guy, decided to focus all his tension on the garbage company, and so he would, anytime he had an excuse to try to report us for something, or if he found something, he started reading up on any ordinances and laws on the books and try to find ways that we were in violation of that. Yeah, because it started with, little requests, and we tried to work with him. We put up a privacy fence to try to blend more in with the neighborhood. We try to be quieter. We try to be a good neighbor and figure, we be nice to him, he'll be nice to us, and we'll live together. And it just got to the point where he was like calling the DEA on us, or trying to get local legislation passed that would, make things more difficult. At some point, he found out that one of the pole barns that the trucks parked in was on land that was zoned for farming, and so technically, you couldn't park commercial garbage trucks in that building because it was zoned for farming, and so we every evening when the trucks came in, you'd see the trucks all parked perfectly lined up outside the pole barn in the driving area. So he didn't make the trucks go away, but we now had this building that we could not do anything with except park the backhoe, because that was technically a farming vehicle. We were allowed to park the backhoe in there, but we couldn't park the commercial garbage truck. We even had to get rid of the break room that was in that building and move the break room to another building because it was, we weren't farmers.
You should have gotten chicken coops with roosters. They would have loved that.
That was what we talked about. We said if we really wanted to get back at him, we should have filled the thing with, we should have made the place a pig farm, and because I'm sure the guy across the street would love the sound of the slaughter when it was time to,
actually, Schitt's Creek has a little scene where, this facility that rents a room for wedding receptions, et cetera, was very cheap on Sundays because that's when they slaughtered the pigs.
There you go. So that was the joke that we would have the owner open up a pig farm and just that would make nice with the neighbors to have the squealing of the pigs and
by the way,
of the slaughter.
Another show on Amazon. Oh, that one's not on it. I think it's on Amazon now. Schitt's Creek.
Okay.
The Clarkson's Farm.
Okay.
It's all about farming and stuff like that. There's some really funny bits, including chickens and the thing that's relevant to this is that on the corner of his property, he built a little farm shop so you could go in, buy eggs and other things that he grows. They start off with potatoes and all this kind of stuff, but the zoning was set so it was only there was a gate that wasn't his, and he was only granted access for farm equipment.
Huh.
Okay. Well, he wanted his customers to go through the gate to go to the shop. So he had to go find the person that owns it and get a variance to allow it for customers. But there were people in the town that were against his shop altogether because they really don't like this guy.
So they could try to shut him down.
Because about a year ago or so, 2 years ago, he had this challenge with his buddies. If he lost, they would blow up his house in that town.
Okay.
And he lost, and they blew up his house.
Well,
and that's actually mentioned in this show, even though it wasn't in this show. But so anyway, he found that he didn't get people that hated him. He got people with a friendly and gave him the variance.
Oh, there you go.
So cool.
Yeah. There's so anyways, that was that was my whole thing. Is that he should have opened up a pig farm, and that.
So I wonder, maybe I should ask, because of the current situation with chickens and pigs,
right?
If I would be allowed to get a chicken coop.
Well,
just to see what they would say, with this explanation.
I'll go ask your HOA if they'll let you get a chicken coop, since there's going to be chicken shortage coming.
There can be a shortage. I eat eggs every day.
This problem will probably sort itself out. It's things like this happen. What I read is that the price of bacon might go up. And you know what? That's your decision if you want to pay more for bacon or find an alternate to bacon. I mean, that's what it comes down to for everyone. I could go to the grocery store tomorrow, and bacon could be marked way up, and it's like, there's sausage.
this is how business really works, and that is you can raise your price if your competitors also raise their price. Okay. So there could be a blip on bacon price,
Right.
but chances are there'll be enough that comes through that qualify for the new California standard that it'll just go back to normal.
Eventually. I mean, this will
Yeah, and it could be a short thing.
out.
Look at the price of lumber. The lumber went way the hell up.
It did.
And people are saying, look, it's inflation. No, this is a blip. And it's already come down. In the last month, it dropped by
just
a shitload of money.
Just chill and put your project off to next week, or next month, or next year.
Supply and demand. People are going, well, I'm not going to do this project because lumber's too high.
Right.
I know this is,
and then it'll work itself out. It'll. So Dune, Five Hit Dune wants to know what happened if the company and the dude are both still there. That's
if the company what?
That if the company or the dude are both still there. The guy that was across the street from the garbage company.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't know I don't know what happened to the guy. I know the company's not still there, but that was many years later. But that was over time. Things escalated between the company and the town. I don't know if that guy started it or if that guy jumped on a bandwagon, but for a period of time. There were bad feelings between the town and the company that was there. You run into that anywhere, not in my backyard. So who wants a garbage company next door to them? Me personally, I don't care all that much. It's not a transfer station. It's not where the garbage is coming. It's just where the trucks are parking. I mean, I got some kind of commercial business going on not far from my house where I hear motorcycles and trucks pulling in and parking at 6 a.m. I roll over, I go back to sleep. You just gotta take what's with what. But yeah, eventually I think part of the motivation of relocating many years later was due to the town not being friendly to the business, so the business moving to an area that would be more friendly to them. But to tell you about what happened with that guy, that guy was a guy by the name of Richard Greener, who we then dubbed Dick Wiener as his nickname. And,
as opposed to that Wiener from New York.
Not that Wiener. No. But
who shared his wiener?
I at some point,
oh my God.
There was a lot of antagonization going back and forth and a lot of hard feelings. And clearly, like this guy knew who the owner of the company was. They had spoken on the phone. There may have been tense conversations at times. So at some point, I think it was at the Balloon Festival, because the town of Reddington would have this balloon festival every year. There's this little airport in Reddington, little small local airport, kind of a hobby type thing, and they would have air shows, and then they'd let a bunch of hot air balloons go and drift off, and you'd watch all the hot air balloons going, after watching the air show. It's kind of a festival type of thing. There were booths, there was food, there's and since it was in the town that the garbage company was in, the garbage company was typically involved in being responsible for setup and waste collection at the festival. And so at some point, I believe Dick had a problem with something that was going on. He was at the festival, and so he approached the owner of RVD. And the owner of RVD approached him. And the owner of RVD extended his hand out to shake his hand to, try to kind of plaster on a smile while gritting through the smile. Like, what's this guy going to complain about now? And Dick felt threatened by the extension of a handshake. He took it as some kind of a violent gesture, like he was getting ready to strike.
So it wasn't an extension. I have to do it this way. It wasn't an extension like this.
No, it was not like this. It was like... I didn't see it. I only heard about it. And the version now, mind you, I got the version of the story that came from the owner of RVD. He was extending a handshake. Dick assumed that he was throwing a punch, and Dick threw a punch back at him. And this was not a guy that was going to put up with that shit. And so that's how the fight started. And they both ended up in the hospital. Well, apparently Dick got the owner of RVD's knee at some point and knocked him down, so he was walking on a cane for the next week or so. And as I understand it,
so were there no criminal charges lodged at either guy?
I don't know how that ended. I really don't, but I do believe that the owner of RVD would suggest that he didn't throw the first punch, and so he was fighting back in self-defense. Although everyone he told about it said it was stupid of me. I should not have thrown a punch back. Don't be doing that like me. That was a dumb thing I did. But I wasn't there. I don't know what defense was needed or not, so I wasn't going to fault him for it.
Of course, today it would have been on somebody's cell phone as a video.
It would have been. Well, apparently what happened is now this was in Hunterdon County, and so after the fight, the owner of RVD gets in the car. It says his wife, drive me to Somerset Hospital. I don't, he's probably getting himself to the hospital. He'll probably go to Hunterdon. Get me over to Somerset. He's getting out of his truck in the parking lot. Who's screaming? Dick Weiner. That's him. That's so and so, owner of RVD. He did this to me.
They
ended up at the same hospital. Now I don't know if there was publicity over that or what happened with that. I didn't follow that much. All I know is he was walking around with a walking stick for a few weeks afterwards. And,
see, the real way to solve a dispute is to use a goddamn gun. Oh no, I didn't say that.
No. Bad,
no.
Brian. Bad. That is not how to resolve that. There was no guns necessary in this. They both came to blows. They both got injured. They both moved on with their lives. No one was killed.
Yeah. Oh, darn.
So, anyways, yeah, that was, I think from that point forward, they only spoke to each other through lawyers. So sure. That's that. Now, Dune saying sounds like a Groucho war. Yeah, clearly this guy thought
a Groucho war.
Well, that's the type of thing where I believe it was a Marx Brothers movie where someone. It's a type of thing where you're thinking in your head what they're thinking about me. Like if you said something to me that I took wrong, and then all week long I'm thinking, oh, he probably thinks this. Oh, he probably thinks that. Oh, and he'd say this to me, and you're making up this whole thing in your head of why you're mad at that person. Like you start having dialogue in your head that you'd have with that person. And so you're getting mad at all the things that this person is saying to you that they didn't actually say. So like he was like a powder keg ready to go. Like there he is, president of RVD, the guy who makes my morning a nightmare with 50 diesel trucks running by my house. He was ready to throw that first punch. And when he saw the movement, he's like, oh, it's on. It's the fight. I've been waiting for. He was waiting for that fight. I don't know. I wasn't there. I just know that
Dune, was there a specific Groucho Marx movie that you're thinking of, or no?
There probably was. Yeah, it might be what Duck Soup the one about the war between the two places, or
I don't recall. That's why I was asking. I think I have it on some playlist.
Let's see. The wealthy Mrs. Teasdale insists that Rufus T. Firefly be appointed leader of the small bankrupt country of Fredonia before she will continue to provide much-needed financial aid. Meanwhile, neighboring Sylvania is attempting to annex the country. Sylvanian ambassador Trentino tries to foment a revolution and to woo Mrs.
Dune
Teasdale.
says yes. Yay!
I'm not going to... Anyways, all right, so that's your viewing assignment on your time to go. I recommend watching Duck Soup. I've watched it.
Yeah,
it's
actually,
hilarious.
I think it's been a really long time, but I do have it on a watch list. It might be Amazon. It might be somebody else.
Okay, well, there you go. There's your Tuesday night. or tonight after the show. Or,
Or later. Yeah.
Or later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully by next week.
Yes. So now, Brian, you attended university.
Yes.
So surely you must have partaken in late night drunken shenanigans involving drinking card games, right?
Probably card games.
Probably.
I can't specifically remember
Oh.
a card game, but then again, drinking would have been involved, right? So who's going to remember? See what I'm going to? No. Did you think that question out?
The Dune's already heard this and he's already tuning out like, oh God, that was boring and it went nowhere. So maybe I should. I need someone that actually knows
Dune,
what I'm
save
talking
me,
about.
Save me. Yeah, you say something like, no, that's boring.
It's not.
I think I fell into that one, and you could have saved me, Dune. Not your fault. I'm just saying.
No, but
I wanted to ask you if you resolved your problem with watching the Olympics.
Yes, I did resolve my problem. Here's what happened. Now mind you, I could still watch all the primetime coverage on NBC, and that kind of covers about 95 to 99.
You know what kind of gets me is it's hard to tell. Unless you're watching every second, it's hard to tell what's actually live, or shall we call it Memorex.
Well, there are times where they cut away from gymnastics that happened earlier, and then to go over to the live swimming events.
Well, like I was watching this basketball game. It was women's basketball.
Right.
U.S. against
I think
France,
they put a live in the corner of the screen.
Wait a second. I thought we already lost to Spain. So why are we seeing... it was bizarre. And of course, they don't have a banner that says, this is when it actually happened.
Oh, now yesterday, as we covered on the Dune and Bob show, we're going to make T-shirts that have the caption "Shut Up, Brian" on them, and we're going to make a killing selling these T-shirts. We're going to sell what? Dune's going to buy one. I'm going to buy one. Sparky Toaster will buy one.
I'll even buy one.
You'll buy one. Sir Mars will buy one.
So where is this going to sell it? You're going to sell it to one of these places like...
I haven't figured that part out yet.
Cafe Press?
Yeah, they still around? That'll work.
Yeah, actually they do. Yeah.
Oh, cool. There we go. We're going to make the Shut Up Brian T-shirts. No, that was... Someone actually said that on their stream. Like, they're reading chats, and he goes, "Shut up, Brian." And Dune just got a kick out of that because it's like, well, there's the sound bit that I could add to the...
But I was okay, so who's putting up the money for these T-shirts if they're going to be free?
Well, if they're they're not free. We're going to make a killing selling them. We'll set up a T-Fury store and everyone will buy them.
Okay. He said T-shirt, and somehow I read that as free.
Somehow you read that as free, and I guarantee
maybe I was hoping for a free one. Make that 2XL.
Yeah, and I have a feeling
because I like shirts a little loose,
and I have a feeling that I'll be watching the shop and I'll see an order come through for 50 shirts, and I'm like, wait, where are those going? Mrs. Brian Blues?
Yeah, exactly.
There we go. All right. So here's how I resolved the Olympic issue. I visited my dad. I went down to the Shore House this past weekend, and I get down there, and my dad asks me, "Can you get the Olympics streaming on this TV here?" Because we just he canceled the cable at the Shore, and we just have the Verizon DSL. And I said, "Yeah, well, you got Comcast at the home, and you got a channel package that includes USA, so you're eligible to stream NBC Sports and all that." And he didn't remember his password to log into his.
Does he have a Roku stick or something?
Yeah, he's got Roku sticks. I gave him those for the TVs at the Shore House, and so I go to sync it up with through this Comcast site, and I'm like, what's your Comcast password? He didn't know, so I helped him reset his Comcast password, and I got his Olympic apps all synced up.
Yeah.
And then I came home, and then I got all my Olympic apps synced up on a completely unrelated topic. I don't, it just worked
for
after
your porn sites.
No, I'm saying that after I helped my dad change his Comcast password, I was able to sync up the NBC Sports app on my devices at home.
Oh, so you're using his NBC.
Well, I'm not admitting to that live on the air here right now.
So you know what gets me? This is actually interesting because after I dropped the cable channels at the beach house, my Comcast stuff would not work there.
Huh.
Bastards.
Well,
they want me to double pay.
Well, here's the thing I do know.
Fuck 'em.
The Comcast app itself only works over Comcast internet service. But like other apps that sync up to your Comcast, they don't care what internet service you're using it over.
No, see, it won't work, and I'm using Comcast internet there.
And 5 pointing out, no, that would be wrong. Yeah, exactly. That would be wrong. I would never do that. I fix the problem through other means, obviously.
Right.
So you fill in the blanks in that story however you choose to. Now, Sparky Toast writing in, Mrs. Brian Blues will put one of those shirts on the dog.
If we had a dog. She has a really good friend that has a dog.
She's going to hand them out to
every big dog. So the 2XL would work good.
She's going to hand them out to everyone in the neighborhood. Brian goes out saying hi to everyone. They're just all going to be wearing Shut Up Brian. Dude, ready to get Brian. It's cool. As long as we can get Title there to play KC, we are good. Because it is, after all, the party house. So we got to have the KC going at the party house because we're all coming there for a party. You can't stop us, Brian. We know where the house is. We are coming there, and we are going.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's how it's going to be. We're all going to be wearing our Shut Up Brian shirts, and we're going to And we're going to be
who's
partying.
Who's going to bring the disco ball?
You haven't had one installed yet? Damn it, Brian! You had one job. Hang the disco ball and stock the fridge with beer. 2 jobs. Anyways, now that it's a party, we should talk about party games. And this time I'm going to use visual aids to try to make this less boring. Now, and maybe, I don't know, now that we have Sparky in the house, maybe he knows.
Hey, Sparky.
Sparky is right now sliding across the kitchen floor in his socks. So now, Sparky, you ever play any drinking games in college or school or after work or on a Tuesday or any time? Because I have a specific drinking game question. And now Sparky says, yeah. Okay, so this past weekend, as I do many weekends when I go down the shore, me, my brother, my cousins, we all got to the porch at the beach house there, got out a deck of cards, and we played a few hands of Asshole. Now, Brian, you familiar with the card game Asshole?
No. Well, obviously you're playing it, so I think the rules would be simple.
Thank you. Well,
I'll take a bow.
It's well, I had to turn the fader up, but anyways, well, Asshole is basically a game of trying to get rid of your cards first. So it's that type of game.
Does it involve the cat?
Well, if after you drink a certain amount, yes, but there's no rules about a cat. Actually, there's no cats there. There's dogs there, though.
There's a person I know in the distant past that had a cat that named Asshole.
Ah, there you go.
I don't know why.
Well, here's the thing: is that there are people have statuses in the game based on their position in the last hand. So when you win a hand, when you get rid of all your cards first, for the next hand you're president, and the person who gets rid of all their cards second, they're the vice president on the next hand. Now the person who loses, who still is holding cards at the end when everyone else has played all their cards, that person's the asshole. and the second to last place person is the vice asshole. And like the president is allowed to tell people to take a drink.
So first loser and second loser.
Right. Now the asshole is responsible for dealing the cards and clearing cards off the table when the cards are clear. And getting people beers or getting drinks. The president's allowed to order around people, things like that. So that is how that works. Now Sparky Toaster writes in the president asshole. That's a whole different game.
Look at that! Who showed up? Oh, right. Don't yell because she'll want to leave.
The president asshole and vice asshole. There you go. Right. No, there is a vice asshole, but the president asshole is just referred to as asshole. Anyways, we found out sometimes you think you know all the rules, and then a situation happens that you realize I don't know the rule for this. So I have to get some opinions or feedback on what they think this rule. And Asshole is one of those games, being a drinking game played among many college dorm rooms, that there are many variations of it. There are differences in rules from college to college or person to person. So anyways, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to share a window in which I found a web page that lets you deal out a virtual deck of cards and move them around. And so right now we're just going to show all the cards. So we got like 4 hands of cards here. So we're going to play. You have to have at least 4 people to play Asshole. You just deal out all the cards. If you have an odd number of people or a number of people that's not doesn't divide evenly in 52, you just keep dealing out to everyone until there's no cards. Some people are going to have an extra card, which is why there's also the rule that the president has to pick up the cards first, and the president can pick up whatever hand they want to pick up, and then the vice president picks up a hand, and then the asshole gets the last hand that's left. So that way, if the president is dealt a hand with an extra card, they can pick up one with a lesser card. We don't play by that rule, actually, though. We just play what's dealt in front of us. But some places are more picky about that. If someone touches their cards before the president touched their cards, they might be instant asshole the next hand, or they might have to take a drink or something like that. Generally, the president will play first. But if there's not a president yet, if it's the first hand, whoever's got the 3 of clubs will play that card first. And then the next person has to put on a card of equal or greater value to that. So over here, the next person could put down a 3 on top of that, but they got a pair of 3s, so they might want to save that to be a pair of 3s. So they might want to put down the 5 instead. Now, if they did put down the 3, playing the same card on top of a card skips a person. So maybe they would decide to put the 3 down to skip the next person, and now this person, it's their turn. And they can put down their 3 to skip the next person, or they could put down a 5. Now, the thing about putting down this 3...
Go fish. Oh,
yeah.
Different game.
Well, this gives me a chance to explain another rule. If this person puts down the 3, now 3 3s have been played in a row. If you can complete a square, you can do so, and the round clears to you. So now that this 3 is out, this person can throw down that 3 on top of there. That completes the square, and they can clear it. And that also would work if this person had 2 3s and someone else, 2 people played 3s, or someone put down 2 3s. If you've got the cards that will complete a square, or over here, see how this hand has 3 queens in it. Well, if this queen comes out at play, this person can throw down those 3 queens and complete the square, and then it clears to them. Now, what do I mean by clear to them? Clear to them means that you discard all the cards, and that person can play any first card to lead out the next round. 2's clear. So, for example, if we get to a point where there's a king out at play, and it's this person's turn. Well, they have an ace. They could play the ace. But if they didn't have that ace, they could play the 2, which means we now clear those cards, and then they can start again, maybe lead with that 5. And then play continues, and so on and so on. But the other thing you could do if you can't play, like if if we have this ace out here and now we come over here, this person can't play. Let's pretend they didn't have this 2, but they have a 4. They could play the 4, and the 4 is a social. So that means that everyone drinks. So 4 is like a wild card. Now here's where it gets tricky, because you can complete the box through a 4. So, for example, we got this ace, we got this 4, and where are the other aces right now? This guy could throw down 3 aces on top of that, complete the square, and it clears of them, even though there was a 4 in the middle. So that makes people say, well, 4s don't really count as a play. It's more of a pass than a play because you can play through it. Now, when you get down to the end of a hand, if no one can play a card, the pile clears to the last person that played a card. So what happened Saturday night is we're playing a hand, and Pam, my cousin, threw down a 4, and we had a social, and then the next person couldn't go, and no one could go, and so we said, okay, it clears to Pam because Pam played that 4. And Kenny said, no, it doesn't clear to Pam. That was just a 4. The 4 plays through. It goes to the person who played the card before that 4. I'm like, what do you mean it doesn't? Pam played the 4. That's the last card played. It clears to Pam. So I'm just wondering if anyone else has ever heard of that if you get to a point where no one can play a card and the card on top is a 4, does that not count when determining who to clear to?
I don't know.
You don't know. Now, Sparky Toaster has given us a link. Maybe they have a rule in there. Now, Brian, you say it sounds a bit like Fizbin.
You know what that is, right?
No, I'm not familiar with Fizbin.
Whew, classic Star Trek. That's when the Enterprise goes to this planet that had been visited years before by the Federation. And the guy left a book about the gangs of Chicago.
Okay.
So they built their society off of the gangs of Chicago. They would just call it the book. And they played this card game called Fizbin, which had wacky rules.
So you're saying this sounds like a wacky game?
Yeah.
Well, here's where the real wacky gets in.
And I knew you were going to get there.
I like these rules because these rules involve strategy and thinking, which is great when you have a drinking game.
Right.
You cannot end your hand on a 2 or a 4. If you end your hand on a 2 or a 4, you're instant asshole the next hand. Now, see, this hand over here to the left has 2 2s and 2 4s in it right now. So this person needs to be real careful to make sure that they play their socials when they have opportunities to, and that they use those 2s up. Because if you get down to a point where, like you only have a 6, if you get to a point where you only have a 6 and 2 2s, well, the next time it's your turn, you can clear the pile with the 2, but you can't play another 2 on an empty pile, so you have to lead with your 6, and now your last card is a 2. And so that's when you basically make this look of, oh shit, and everyone starts laughing at you because they immediately know what you did. And then you're instant asshole. So that's a fun little strategy. I also didn't mention, not that it's important to the story, but I've only talked about leading with one card at a time, but you could also lead with a pair. So like if this person's got a pair of 3s in their hand and they lead with a pair of 3s, then the next person has to play a higher pair. So like this person could put down a pair of jacks, although they might want to hold their jacks to hold onto the 3 of kind and wait for the other jack to come down to throw down and complete the square. Or because leading with a 3 of a kind usually isn't a good idea, because if you lead with a 3 of a kind, if the other person has the card, they're going to throw it down and clear it to them. And the other thing is that to throw down and clear to complete the square, you have to do it before the next person goes. So sometimes you get into a throwing match, like you quick throw down, take your turn before someone completes a square if it's vulnerable to, you know, a square being completed. And whichever card lands first is the one. If you get your play down before someone else completes a square, well, they lost their chance, and everyone knows what they have in their hand. So that's so Brian, does this sound like a game you would play?
No.
Sparky Toaster's right again. This game hurts my head. I'd rather rebuild a carburetor. And then he says, so a nice, calm card game turned into a drama fighting event. Well, it didn't really get that bad. We had a little bit of debate, and I basically said, look it, I think it should clear to Pam. However, that's a house rule situation, and this ain't my house. So I'm like, you know, hey, Kenny, Jeff, Pam, three of you need to figure out what this rule is, because that, you know, and so we basically decided to clear to Pam. But then afterwards, Kenny kept arguing it, and he was kind of in a pissy mood because it caused him to lose that hand. He had a strategy that he was doing based on thinking that it was going to clear to him because he didn't think Pam's 4 counted. And then it didn't, so he lost that hand. So he was in a bit of a sour mood until, you know, we played a few more hands. He cheered up. And then also we decided that, and when I say we decided, I mean they decided he was right, and they decided to play by that rule going forward. And, you know, and then he got president 3 times in a row, and he got to make a new rule. And so he made the rule that every time we had a social, we had to stop and dance for 10 seconds. And then he got all 4 fours on the deal for the next hand. So he got to make us dance for 10 seconds 4 times. There we go. No, it's you know, it's hard to explain a game without playing it. It's the type of thing that, you know, Brian, you, me, Sparky Toaster, Dune, we all need to get together some night and just play around the asshole and just stream it. That's what's got to happen. You in?
No.
Well, we're gonna do it at the party house. We'll come out to.
I thought you were gonna do it online. Do it during the Dune and Bob show.
This game don't work online. You gotta have a table and holding cards in your hand because you're all throwing down cards at the same time. Online,
but didn't it work explaining how the game works?
Not really. That's why we all need to get together and play it. So, Party House is at Monterey, California, right?
Right.
So we're all coming down to the party house, you, me, Sparky, Dune, and we're all going to play Asshole, and we're going to stream it live.
Yeah.
We'll get Mrs. Bryan to hold the camera. And
right.
There we go. We'll all be wearing the Shut Up Brian shirts.
That's right. That's right. You've really put a lot of time into this, haven't you?
I have. This got us through the first half of the show.
Okay, so are you coming down for this Saturday's event at El Torito?
No.
To meet with all your old Tharco buddies?
No. That's
Dang.
I didn't get my RSVP in on time.
Oh, that's true. There was a deadline for getting
I totally
getting your money in.
I totally would have gone, but I've got to wash my pants that day.
Shoot.
Yeah. I only got one pair, and I looked at my schedule. I'm like, that's the day they're going to be in the washer. And I can't really show up there without pants. So, you know, it's...
actually, showing up without pants is... at the El Torito. Yeah, that's true.
Well, it is California. Pants are optional, as we've seen on the streets.
Exactly.
As we've seen on the streets of San Francisco many times, and usually the older the person, the more likely they're not wearing pants. My experience, someone without walking down the street, absolutely naked, they're usually someone that's reached that age of I don't care. I'm going naked. Usually they're with their friends who are also naked. So usually there's 3 of them.
I recently joined, this is on Facebook, one of these groups that was Northern California fishing. And there's a lot of funny things that go on. And some people are saying, we should report these guys. No, just lighten up, right? If you don't like it, you can quit the group anytime.
Right.
The typical thing is the guy will be asking about how to catch stripers, right?
Mhm.
That's a fish.
Right.
Well, there's the obvious confusion to strippers. So a person will show a pole, dancing pole, versus a guy holding a fish, right?
Wrong pole. Right.
Kind of funny.
Kind of.
Kind of funny.
I
You
would
get the
have.
idea.
I would have had a picture of dollar bills, but but
Well, there were pictures of dollar bills as well.
you got to have the right
You got
bait
it.
to catch
You
the
got it.
strippers. You know,
That's the entire.
you
got
start
the
with
theme
ones to
exactly.
get their attention, and you start building up to the 5s and
Right.
the 10s if you want to take them
Anyway,
home
so
with
this
you.
one
But,
guy
you gotta-
posted. This one guy posted, hey, I'm new in California, and we went to this beach where you could go fishing, and pooh, there were these nudes there. What's this? Says, "Hey,
It's
this is
California.
comedy
Welcome to California. Yeah.
And of course, then the shit hit the fan from there. It was pretty funny.
Welcome to California. Clothes are optional. And
And this
Yeah.
guy made a dig on. This guy was from Texas, and he made a dig on In-N-Out Burger, how crappy it is, because in Texas we have Whataburger. Yeah, okay, fine. They're both cheap, skinny, crappy burgers, but whatever.
whatever.
Oh, in fact, I went by the In-N-Out Burger. I think it was Friday. No, I think it was. When did I go by there? It was probably Wednesday. And the line was backed up to the next intersection, which was like 2 blocks away. And there's a slight bend in the road, so you could not get in line. You could not see the restaurant if you were in line. It's like, I am not going to wait that long for a crappy burger.
I like In-N-Out Burger, but there's a Five Guys. You can go to a Five Guys.
Actually, supposedly there's going to be a Five Guys moving into our area. It's supposed to be near the Safeway.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's where this taco place, the Taco Bell is.
The Taco Bell that you're totally going to go back to.
I don't
buy a
have any
taco.
hint that it's actually happening yet.
Hmm.
There are a couple of closed restaurants, and maybe they're going to take up that space. But usually they put up a sign that, hey, Five Guys is coming. But people do. How do people find out about this?
Well,
They were posting on Nextdoor that, hey, Five Guys is coming.
I guess they haven't gotten to the point of putting up a sign yet, but it'll
Right.
come. They'll put it up.
Right.
But Sparky Toaster saying Five Guys will work for me. Yeah, I mean, I like In-N-Out. I like Five Guys. Heck, I had Burger King today because I haven't gone grocery shopping yet, so I don't have bag salad in the fridge.
To me, Wendy's is better beef than all of them. Although it's kind of close. McDonald's just went to fresh beef, which they used to have frozen. The frozen beef no longer tastes like beef. It's like, what is this? Kangaroo from Australia?
No, apparently kangaroo's good, but you got to serve it
good.
rare.
It is, but it just did not taste like beef.
Oh, that's
actually
okay.
we should switch to kangaroo because kangaroos don't fart like cows do. So that could by itself solve the global warming issue if you believe that that's a thing, right? I don't want to push June away,
I personally, I'm holding on to the burgers, and anyone that says that things are going to demand we get rid of our burgers haven't actually read the text. Right. But anyways, now Sparky Toaster wants to know: does Brian know why Wendy's burgers are square?
That's a good question.
Because that's how they come out of the printer.
Probably.
I'm thinking it's some kind of machine generated thing. But so they fit on the grill better. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. And probably when they're stacked for the refrigerator, they stack better.
Yeah.
Again, never frozen, just refrigerated. Now, at one time, what they do is they see how many customers are coming. Let's just throw burgers on the grill so they'll be ready when their order is taken.
Right.
And if they had unsold burgers, they would just throw them in this bin that would become the chili. The chili was essentially all meat,
Yeah.
right? Well, they've done away with that. They add beans to it too. That way they're not cooking burgers just for the chili.
Right.
The beans will stretch that. And I'm kind of okay with that. It was
I don't
kind
know.
of cool to have a all beef chili, but
Yeah, I never got their chili. But I usually actually I found that and this was a little tip that Gothard revealed is that instead of ordering like because I used to go and order like the Dave's double, add bacon to it because the Baconators don't have any lettuce or tomato on it, and I need some kind of way to justify this as a healthy meal, and so that's where I get my vegetable and fruit
from the bacon,
from the lettuce and tomato.
Oh.
So that's why I ordered the Dave's double, add bacon rather than ordering a Baconator. And
your cholesterol levels are fine.
Oh yeah, that tests fine every time. Doctors never brought up any problems.
Right.
But anyways, but Gothard typically orders multiple small, like he'll order 2 of the junior deluxe cheeseburgers, and they're really cheap. So much so that it's much cheaper to just order 2 or 3 small sandwiches than ordering a big, Dave's double, add bacon.
Yeah.
So now I do that. I just order the small burgers and have a bunch of small burgers. So that's my little
and what you
life hack.
can do is if you want a meaty burger, you have them cut it in half because they'll do that for you.
Yeah.
And then you take the meat out of one of the halves, stick it on the other, and then throw away the extra bun because you don't really need that anyway.
Yeah.
And then you got an extra meaty burger.
There you go.
You could even have a 4 deep burger.
What I used to do when I was doing the strict Atkins, I would order the double cheeseburgers from Jack in the Box, and the burgers are dry enough. I could just take I would get 2 double bacon cheeseburgers, and I would take the buns off, and I would close the patties together so that all the cheese and the bacon's in the middle, and it's just dry beef on the sides, and I'd just pick that up and eat that like it was a burger. 4 patties of meat with bacon and cheese in the middle. That was my healthy dinner to lose weight.
Of course, there is a version of the In-N-Out burger. They have all these secret versions, right?
Well, that's
animal burger, et cetera, at In-N-Out burger. And there's one version where it's essentially meat with a piece of lettuce on both sides.
Some places will do the wrap and the lettuce wrap thing. I find the lettuce wrap thing, I don't think lettuce really acts as a good bun. I was never on board with that. But
it's only a slice of it, so it's just keeping it from. That way, you're not using a napkin as a bun.
Well, it's kind of like a bun absorbs stuff. Lettuce just diverts stuff. So now you got
it
this
just runs off all over your
running,
hands.
dripping, and yeah. So it's like no, you might as well just pick up the burger.
Of course, Carl Jr.'s will give you the burger in a wrapper, so you can hold the whole thing in a wrapper because it's juicy and sloppy anyway.
Well, that's why my secret was to get the Jack in the Box double cheeseburgers because they were so dry. I just pick up the meat and it would be no problem. It was.
Of course, for some reason, the Carl Jr.'s burger buns typically are extra dry, almost like stale.
I never the Carl's Jr. meat is just it doesn't taste like meat. I don't know what that. Maybe that's kangaroo.
Well, probably because it was frozen.
Yeah. Although I did like the Carl's Jr. had those like really big, awesome breakfast sandwiches. I liked those, but they also only served them like till 10, which it's like, dude, just fucking serve it all day long. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Actually, McDonald's dropped their all-day breakfast.
They did, and it pisses me off because I was using it. I was using that. The
Yeah.
fuck? Why?
Oh, well.
Why is it so difficult for a fast food restaurant to understand the concept of person wants a breakfast sandwich, serve them a damn breakfast sandwich? What?
Sure.
What the?
Whatever.
Yeah,
Whatever.
pisses me off.
The thing is that they changed over and everything seemed to be okay, and then they got rid of it.
Yeah. Sparky Toast writing in, lettuce is like wearing a raincoat. The weather just runs off you instead of soaking into your clothes.
Right.
Right.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. I was like, no, that's not working. Usually, well, for a while when I was doing, when you decide to do Atkins and you do it hardcore, you do it hardcore. So that means, if I would go for a burger with Nick to Wendy's. I would order a burger. I would have him leave the ketchup off, and I'd take the top bun off, and I'd get a knife and fork, and I'd cut, and I'd eat and leave the bread in the bottom. I threw out the whole bun. I just ate it with a knife and fork. But then when you get past, like, to the point where you've lost weight and you're losing weight, I start to do the thing where I take the top bun off and just eat it with the bottom bun, and that way it's less carbs instead of no carbs.
Yeah.
Of course, now I reached the point where it's like, fuck it, what diet? But I probably should do that again sometime. I've not regained everything.
Yeah, so
back.
what we usually do is, like, we'll go through to Wendy's, and we'll get to, well, we like the son of a Baconator, so we get 2 of those, and get a medium fry, and we split that. So you get a little bit of fry, not too much.
See,
and that's it.
Here's the thing: they have the different size meal options, which of course all come with the same entree. So an extra large does not give you a bigger burger than a medium, but it gives you the larger fry, which I like fries. I like an extra large fry. But I am not like I am not like Nick. Anyone want these fries? I don't really like fries. I just like to have them with the burger. Like, what, for ambiance? If you don't like fries, why do you keep ordering them and giving them away?
Right.
but apparently,
the thing is, like, with the Five Guys, one guy could order the fries, and that's enough for everybody.
The first time I went,
20 people.
First time I went to a Five Guys, I ordered a burger and the large fries, and they said, "Are you sure you want the large fry? I mean, if you want the large fry, give the large fry, but a regular fry has a lot." And I'm like, "All right, I'll get the regular." And then they give you that big cup that's filled, and they put an extra scoop in the bag that doesn't even fit in the cup. And basically that's all Nick would do, is he would take some of my bag fries because he just wanted a few for his burger, which is like, dude, if you don't like them, why do you even want that? But okay, all right, have some fries, one of his oddities. But
yeah.
See, I always order the large for the fries. I don't order it for the bucket of Coke. I don't need a bucket of Coke. It'd be nice if they had a large medium meal where you get the large fry and the medium drink. It'd be nice if you could order a meal like that, because I keep ending up with this bucket of Coke. Who needs a bucket of Coke?
Well, order the smaller size.
I mean, but I want the large fries.
Okay, even though you shouldn't, right?
Oh, what? You only live once, Brian.
I want to live slightly longer. That's all.
Hey, my blood tests come back A-OK every time, so why start changing things now?
Right.
Sparky Toast is saying, always order regular fries at Five Guys. They always load you up with fries. Yeah. Sir Bar's already given 4 large fries and 4 burgers, mostly to go. No freaking tomatoes. Oh, I always get you know what we've been having when I go down the shore? BLTs. Oh my God, BLT. You go down to the Jersey Shore. There's a vegetable stand walking distance from the beach house. So my dad will walk over there, buy 2 or 3 big ass tomatoes fresh from the farm stand there, and some ears of corn for to have with dinner that evening. and then we got leftover bacon from breakfast. There's always some lettuce in the fridge. The big fresh juicy tomatoes just bought from the Big Ed's farm stand down the street, and I tell you, get the toast. You load that up with the mayo, and you put the tomato on there, the juice of the tomatoes mixing with the mayo to kind of make a kind of a BLT sauce type of thing. You get the salt on there. You put some more salt on there because I am my mother's son. You put more salt on there. Get the bacon on there. Put some more salt on the bacon. Little dab of lettuce. There you go. That is there's your freaking tomato, Mars. BLT, heavy on the T. There, that's what you want. Sir Mars running an In-N-Out are freaking great. A double with cheese, a fry, and a Choco Shake. No, Brian, you're not getting in on this BLT action here?
Sure.
I was waiting for Mars to say something about that. I thought he was I thought for sure he would have something to say.
Here's what he wants.
Yeah. Oh man, I got to find that sound effect now. Yeah. Oh, here's what Mars would say about the BLT loaded with tomatoes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he would say.
Yeah.
An extra large coffee.
A coffee with tomato. There we go. No tomato. Ketchup is accepted.
In the coffee?
Add a little ketchup to the coffee there, and you're. And Sir Mars has no mic. He's at his sister's watching Puppy.
Way to go.
There you go. There you go. That's too bad. Well, that's okay. We got our virtual Mars here with us.
Yeah.
But he only says that, or
Alexa, shut up!
I don't.
Alexa, shut up!
Now I just need to get a recording of him saying Brian and edit that in. And
That's right. That's right. That's my other name.
There you go. Oh, gee. Yeah. So, man, well, maybe, hey, Sir Mars, you ever play an asshole? Maybe you could help give me a ruling on whether or not fours count when clearing to someone. That, no. We don't need to revisit that topic. We lost all our viewers the last time we. So Brian, how are things going at Casa de Brian? How's the yard doing?
Good.
Find any buried treasure in the backyard yet?
No, I'm working on the second plant stand.
Okay, all right.
Almost done.
Well, don't you gotta be
The
watching?
thing is it's been hot as hell, so I kind of put in a measure. If when we're done with the show today, I might stick on the last. There's only like 4 more boards to go in, and they're all pre-cut. They're ready to just drill the holes, put in the screws, and I'm done.
Yeah. Now Mars writes in 4s don't count, but it all matters what the house says. It's always house rules. That is. You know what? Yeah.
Oh, in asshole.
Yeah, he's saying the 4s don't count in asshole. That you don't clear when you clear to the last card play.
So he's familiar with the game.
Either that, or he's just making it up as he goes.
Well, like half of us.
Well, the problem is that Sir Mars and drinking games don't exactly go together, because that requires drinking. But that I'm sure he's observed many an interesting card. He's the guy in the corner watching the shit. He's the one that's holding the camera.
Right, and then once in a while, stick his hand in there and grab the money.
And then afterwards, they go to play it back, and it's like, how come all we see is an eye? But that was wrong right there. Let's see. You
Oh,
play.
by the way, there's a series on Amazon called Britannia. There's
Okay.
2 seasons that are out.
Okay.
A friend of mine on Facebook watched it. And I go, "What's that about?" Oh, that's the Romans are invading England
Oh.
2,000 years ago, and it's actually quite. It's very violent. Okay,
Well, yeah, it would be.
but it's interesting because you have not only the Roman legion, you have a couple of tribes in the UK that are kind of against each other, and then you have the Druids. The Druids talk to the gods, and
Right.
so each group has their own special thing with the Druids to see where's this going. Very interesting show. I would suggest it.
Yeah.
I'm into 5 episodes or so.
Well, have you ever watched? And this is going back to older TV. Surely you've probably given this a watch through late night on PBS at some point. Have you ever watched I, Claudius?
Well, way back a little bit. Yeah, I think so.
That's
In
worth a
fact,
rewatch.
I think Claudius is the emperor of this time,
Probably no.
but he's not in this series.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess he would be because he named his son. Let's see.
Nero.
No, that was a stepson or a son by marriage, or but his actual son was what, Britannia or something like that.
Oh.
Let's see. Because that was kind of when Nero got the crown, that pretty much put it to another family line.
I see. Yeah.
He was
Of
the
course,
last.
Claudius was wacko anyway.
And Claudius was actually the most sane person there at the time. He played the fool. Everyone thought he was kind of a fool because he had the shakes, but he actually so no one ever tried to murder him because no one saw him as a threat, and then he was.
Oh no, I'm mistaken. Caligula was the wicked guy.
Caligula, that's the guy you're thinking.
You're right.
Of.
Right.
Caligula thought he was a god. Yeah, that's why he had the headaches, because he's been ascended to a god, and
Right.
being in mortal form gives him headaches. He always loved his sisters. But
Wicked.
yes, but now. Sir Mars clarifying some of the rules that you play with shots of espresso. Oh, that's how you. Oh, that'll have you up all night. Everyone else is passing out. He's ready to go. So the Druids were the ones that were smoking. I see. Let's see. I get headaches when I don't have enough coffee. Yeah, me too. I got to get my. But yeah, no. If it's been a while since you watched I, Claudius, it might be worth another watch. You could probably find a DVD set pretty cheap.
Yeah, because I'm going to the Wikipedia. Yeah, that's where they did the invasion of Britain.
Right.
Successful. Because earlier, Julius Caesar attempted to invade Britain, and that failed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. His son was Britannicus, Tiberius
Yes.
Claudius Caesar Britannicus, but he was too young to be to ascend. And in I, Claudius, they framed it that Claudius appointed Nero to ascend him because he wanted to appoint someone that would be so bad that it would end the reign of the monarchy. I mean, because Claudius was supposedly in favor of a
democracy.
A democracy. He wanted to the CNI Claudius. They're appointing him the emperor. He's like, but I want a democracy. I want a democracy. I don't want to be emperor. I wanted to. But he decided he was convinced for the good of the nation to take the crown and to transition it. But it didn't work. Now, if that's what really happened, I don't know. I mean, we've got only certain records that survive to go by. Like a lot of the stuff about Caligula, it suggests that much of that might be
Fiction.
Might be fiction, or might be biased, or might be exaggerated. He might not have really done the crazy things that he did. He was not well liked by the peoples who wrote about him, whose writing survived. So there's bias in our historical documents that we have about.
Well,
Caligula.
history is written by the winners, right?
Well, I mean,
and actually, it might be updated. History is written by the survivors.
Yes, yeah, and Caligula did not survive. He was assassinated.
Right.
So he was not what you would call a winner. So Sir Mars writes him. Well, you're watching Claudius. I'm watching iCarly. I think that's a different show. That's just a little different.
I get it. Did he find that using Bing?
No, I actually believe he is watching iCarly. Anyways, but yeah, that was, of course, anyone who watches iClaudius now has a image of ancient Rome as being a bunch of English-speaking people that speak with a British accent. Right. So clearly, our education in Roman history has failed because we're picturing that way wrong.
So in this series of Britannia on Amazon, they all speak with an English accent, and there's also mentions of people from Gaul, and apparently they're hated. But how can you tell the difference? Everybody speaks English.
Right. There you go. That is the thing. They have to make everyone speak English or the native language of the viewers.
Right.
Well, you could do it. I mean, there are people that get into the authentic thing by having it be subtitled and hiring people to speak the native language of the people.
Yeah, that's part of the problem with the Discovery episode. Star Trek Discovery, is that they have a lot of Klingon speaking in Klingon. Okay, I get it. You can switch them to English. No, they continue to speaking Klingon, which is not a real language, because there's not enough syntax that's available. Yet they persist, and it's subtitled in English. It's like, really? I'm going to hear this spitting language for how long? And have to read the shit off the screen? Come on.
Yeah.
And then if you're using subtitles, because the background is very loud and the voices are soft, so you have to put on the closed captioning so you can hear what they're saying. The subscript that they put, which is the translation from Klingon, interferes with the closed captioning. So I can't read anything because they're stupid. It's really annoying.
Yeah. I'm trying to find, and of course, due to licensing reasons, apparently any sources were taken down. I really wanted to find the clip of Brian Blessed as Augustus Caesar going, "Is there anyone in Rome who hasn't slept with my daughter?" That there was a great.
Well, is that just a YouTube clip that you can play?
No, I can't find it on YouTube. That's just a scene from Claudius.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, but it was that was great because that was when they were angling to get rid of.
I mean, who hasn't gone to YouTube and looked up? It's a trap.
It's a trap
from Star Wars. I love that one. Or any of the famous Clint Eastwood lines.
Right.
You name it, or Terminator lines, talk to the hand.
Yes, but no, Brian Blessed made a great Augustus Caesar. Of course, I never met Augustus Caesar, so I wouldn't know how spot on it was, but
and he spoke it in English
with a British accent, which is how they all spoke in Rome.
Right.
In my mind, since I watched Claudius,
right?
So, I've watched through all that
clearly
at least
Jesus
3 times.
spoke English, right?
Well, yeah, he was white,
and he was white and blue-eyed and blonde, of course. and tall, probably 6'2" or 6'4".
I got a video about that.
Yes. Do we want to be controversial? Sure. Why the hell not? Right?
No. This is absolutely great. I
think we've already went controversial.
No, this is. Where is that video? Darn. Oh, here we go. So we got to set up. We got a guy praying for a miracle. He's at church. He's praying to Jesus for help, and that sets it up. So we'll see whether or not his prayer is answered and how that goes. So let's go ahead and share the screen here. There we go, and we'll share that, and we'll play this.
Jesus, can you hear me? I don't know where else to turn it. I'm desperate. I need your help.
I can hear you, my son. I have always been listening.
Who are you?
It is I, Jesus. I heard your prayer, and I've come to help you.
You're not Jesus.
I am.
But doesn't Jesus look a bit more like...
Oh, I see. You thought I'd be white.
Kind of, yeah.
Look, I don't know what to tell you. I was born in the Middle East 2,000 years ago. The Bible's very clear about that. It should be pretty obvious I don't have blonde hair and blue eyes.
Guess so.
Plus, have you heard my story? And I was arrested by a mob of angry government officials and beaten for a crime I didn't commit, and that shit doesn't happen to white people.
And there was some confusion over who your father was.
Okay, that's just racist.
Sorry. It's just... You're not really what I was expecting, that's all.
Would you like me to fetch white Jesus instead?
Oh, could you?
No! There is no white Jesus. It's just me. Do you want my help or not?
Yeah, I suppose so. After all, black or white, we're both still Christians, right?
I'm guessing now's not the time to tell you I'm Jewish.
What? Oh, that's wonderful. Now's not the time. Yeah. Oh, dang it.
Was that great or
Busted.
what?
Yeah, that's not bad. That is not bad.
That is... Sir Bar's going, wow, Jesus is a potty mouth. Who knew?
Exactly. Yeah, right. Didn't see that in the Bible. Maybe I wasn't looking at the right parts. Oh, wait a minute. Or those parts of the Bible were banned?
Well, they had to, kind of, whiten things up a bit when they went to publish.
Right.
Your crowd. I don't know.
I was actually thinking about this. In the Muslim faith, you're not allowed to put together an image of Muhammad.
Right.
And it might be because you may not like what he looks like because he's not a white, blonde, blue-eyed guy, right?
Well, I mean, heck, right now, you know what I could do? I could take this piece of paper, right? And I could, I can draw a little circle here, and like there, and some lines there. And
didn't South Park have a depiction of Muhammad in an episode?
They did, but right here, I've just depicted Muhammad as a stick figure, and so I believe under Muslim law, I'm supposed to be put to death now for this.
You're going to be put to death. No, put that away. Put that away. We don't want to do that.
It's just a stick figure. It's clearly labeled Muhammad. Well, what's funny is that South Park did an episode about like the super friends that like Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, they were all like superheroes. It was like a parody of like the and that was not maybe there was controversy over it, but it didn't make the news. I didn't know there was any controversy over it.
Yeah.
So yeah, they did an episode where Muhammad was depicted, and it did not raise a fuss. Then they decided to do another episode where Muhammad was depicted, and they had to censor it because there were threats about ordering some kind of a jihad over it or something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Sir Marge,
But in a way, I think maybe we should not depict the deity because, hey, what? Let's face it, we want them to look like us, right?
well, you could put effort into trying to come up with a historically accurate depiction. Now they didn't have cameras around there, so and I guess no one actually wrote a
Sat
detailed
down
description.
and drew him, right?
But like he says, he was born in the Middle East 2,000 years ago. He's not going to be blonde hair and blue eyed. So maybe
okay. Here's a funny.
maybe we should have done a better job of depicting him with a fictional depiction that could be possible.
So blacks clearly say, Jesus was not white, he was black. I have no problem with that. But then they kind of go on. They said, well, the Middle East is part of Africa. I'm sorry, the only parts of the Middle East that are Africa are Egypt, the Sudan, maybe Ethiopia, maybe Libya. But the Arabian Peninsula is definitely Asia.
I'll
right?
go along.
All of the rest of the Middle East is Asia.
But it's in the same vicinity as what they're getting at, I guess. It's the Middle East is
they're
more
saying
than,
that it's Africa, and it ain't all Africa. In fact,
no, it ain't. Well, it's not all Africa.
A small part is Africa. So get your facts into detail.
Well, there's parts of it that are Africa, and there's
are
parts
they more
that are
African,
next to.
Or are they something else?
Well, heck, they called all those places different things back then, anyway. So what were they?
Sure.
That's
Well, and also the Middle East was considered the world.
Yeah.
And then when Egypt took over, there was a new world. And then when the Romans took over, it's a whole new world, which included Europe.
A whole new world.
So yeah, it depends on the point of view, right?
Yeah. And then Columbus discovered the new world again, I guess.
Right.
For Spain, because there are already people here.
Right.
But he never actually came here.
Of course, as we know from the Curse of Oak Island, that the Templars came to America first.
We were doing good.
Of course, after, the Vikings came. The Vikings came, they saw, and they left.
Okay. So anyways, way to go. You mentioned Oak Island, and now you just derailed the whole show. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And how much time do we have left?
We got
another half hour.
Oh my God, man! Oh, how stereotypical Caucasian are you people?
Yes, let's stop going there. Right.
You are so hopelessly white.
Right.
There we go. Sparky Toaster Radio. Okay, did I miss why the title of the show says what it does? Do fours really count? Well, that's because I was asking about that rule in the card game about if fours count to click. Don't even. You know what? It was a stupid title. I had nothing better to put there today. So what would have been a better title for this week's show? Maybe Black Jesus would have been a better title for this week's show. Maybe we just retitle it Black Jesus.
Or you know what? How about Gray Jesus?
Gray
not
Jesus.
Not quite black, not quite white, gray.
Well, how about Middle Eastern Jesus?
There you go.
There we go.
Could be.
There we
Could
go.
be.
Could be. Could be. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, so I watched Peacock did a series, Dr.
Of
Death.
the Olympics. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, Dr. Death. So if you got the Peacock app, I recommend checking out Dr. Death. It was pretty good.
Oh, I do. You know, I have Peacock under some bundle, I think.
Yeah, well, if you
But
have
I'll have to check it
Comcast, if you have Comcast, it'll sync up to your Comcast account and give you free access.
Right, right.
So yeah,
I'm using a bundled account elsewhere
uh,
because at one point, if I find I'm satisfied with the different ones, then I'll just drop Comcast altogether. Well, keep the cable.
now Sir Mars running in. You can never go wrong with Zombie Jesus.
Oh my God.
That's well, yeah, because he rise from the dead, so he's Zombie Jesus, right?
Have you heard about the purple zombie sea urchins that are killing the kelp forest off of California?
No, are these real zombies?
These are real zombies because what happened is they come into an area, they eat up a bunch of the kelp and they reproduce. So there's thousands of them and they run out of food and the various body parts shrink. They don't die off. They just kind of sit there in a zombie state.
Okay.
It's very bizarre. So what they'll do is, sea urchin is one of these edible things, right?
Okay.
Sushi restaurants use urchin, right?
Okay.
I'm not that. So what they do is they harvest these zombies and they put them in tanks where they feed them vegetable matter, kelp if they can get it, what have you, so that they can regrow these organs that are harvested on them, so that then they can be sold to restaurants.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the reverse of farmed salmon or various farmed fish. Various farmed fish are grown in a, shall we call it a farm situation, released into the wild. Fishermen can catch them. They can be caught by commercial fishermen, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And this is the reverse. So they're out in the wild. You pick them up, you fatten them up, so then they can be served.
There you go.
Pretty cool, huh?
Now, speaking of sea urchins, I didn't get much swim time on the beach this past weekend because that's the thing. You can look at what the weather's going to be. You can see it's going to be a warm weekend. You can kind of check what based on the currents that the water's supposed to be like. But there's certain things you never know. Some years a bunch of seaweed will come into tide, and then you'll be swimming in a tossed salad. That's never fun. And then sometimes a bunch of asshole fish could come in and dump all their eggs right in your swimming area. And that was the case this time. There were just fish eggs everywhere in the water. I took one look at that. I'm like, And you can go in, you can swim in it, but it's like swimming in tapioca pudding, which is
wow. I've never seen that before.
Yeah,
you need to take a picture of that next time.
There's
I remember going to a beach in Connecticut, and you'd go, I'm not going in the water because it's just loaded with jellyfish. And it wasn't.
There could be that too.
It wasn't Portuguese Man of War. It was another one. You just kind of like, I don't want to be in the water with jellyfish.
Right. Yeah. Well, there have been times where it's been just plain clear jellyfish, which I guess they're dead at that point. but they're just everywhere, and they're kind of jelly and icky.
Yeah,
and so,
probably the moon jellies. Yeah,
right, the moon jellies, and they're just
Yeah.
clear. They're not going to sting you, but there's still kind of slimy, disgusting things floating all over the fucking place.
Right.
But-
and then
but-
they're washed on the beach and stuff like that.
I don't
dead.
know that a picture of the water with the eggs. I mean, there's like areas of foaminess that is kind of a lot of the eggs grouped up together. You certainly
So you
feel
need
it.
to get a camera that can go underwater.
You know where you can really see it? As the tide goes out, eggs are left behind on the beach, and the light really reflects off of them. So you get this kind of
That's a picture
you kind of get this sparkling
Yeah.
along the ocean.
Yeah. You could get that.
along
That would
the,
be good.
The edge there. Yeah, I'm hoping there won't be eggs there the next time I go. But if there are, I'll grab you a picture.
Now, did you get any of the cicada this year?
You know, I didn't get it here, but it's odd. I went down to Jersey earlier in the summer because one of my my stepbrothers has a daughter that turned 2 or 3. The years fly by. Anyways, I had a birthday party for her, and so I'm like, well, I'll come down this weekend for the birthday party. So I drive down. And where my dad's house, it was pretty normal, but he's a few towns over. Where he was, I guess it was more wooded area. It's like, yeah, he's got the cicadas. So you got out of the car, you just heard this stop like a just this like ongoing noise in the background of all the cicadas. It was odd. It was eerie. It was just this ongoing, never-ending roar that you just heard in the background. So yeah, it was quite. But I'm quite glad I didn't live in an area that had that. Now, Sparky Toaster writing in. I've seen Jello. I've seen fighting in Jello already. Just saying. Well, that's another college drinking game. If you don't have a deck
Fighting
of cards.
Jell-O?
Yeah, well, I've not done this, and I haven't seen this, but I know that some people in the room next to mine had a Jell-O fight at some point during a weekend that involved heavy drinking. And I know that because they bought a kiddie pool and set it up in the back, and I remember seeing the aftermath when I came back of an empty, flipped-over kiddie pool and a bunch of, like, a red blotch where the melted Jell-O was. And I don't think they had any hot girls over, so I didn't miss anything. So I don't know who was wrestling in the Jell-O. Just saying. Mars writing in. Gators almost had all the makings for sushi: the fish, the eggs, the seaweed. All you needed was the rice.
Exactly.
Dude, you do not want to eat these fish eggs. No. But yeah, I have gone in the water at times when near the fish eggs here, and like I said, you feel like you're swimming in tapioca. It feels kind of gross. So I don't do that anymore. I'm just like, no, I'm good. I'll just get my feet wet and shake it off, and maybe next weekend. Hopefully they'll all go out to sea when the tide goes out and clear out. But so it was a fun weekend. Like I said, got to play a lot of cards, do some drinking, and now one of my cousins wants me to pick up a bunch of beer from him in a brewery that's about an hour away from me. So he's supposedly gonna, put in a huge order that's gonna fill up my station wagon, and it'll be paid for, and then I'll just disappear. See ya. No. I gotta drive it down to him, bring it to him. My next trip down to the shore, so that'll be good.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, good stuff. So, well, we got like 10 more minutes to fill here.
Exactly.
Hey, where's your brother?
I sent him the link to to join in. I guess either he didn't. I sent it on text. That should be.
He must be busy helping.
I guess.
I guess someone needs his help this week. But that's okay. We only got 10 minutes left here. But that's the 10 minutes that he was going to fill in. So that's
Exactly. Yeah, dude.
we built in 10 minutes for corny jokes. I was expecting that 10 minutes to pass at some point before now. And it hasn't. And I don't have, I don't have the corny dad jokes that he comes with. But yeah. So, what other projects you got going on there?
That's a good question. I can't think of anything. Oh, so normally our town has a 4th of July parade,
Okay.
and because of COVID, it was canceled this year.
Huh.
So they're doing it on Labor Day. And
Okay.
so I'm going to participate this year.
Are you going to hand out all the free T-shirts to everyone?
That's a great idea.
You can have the T-shirt cannon.
Oh, wait a minute. They're not allowed to shoot things into the crowds.
Oh.
I think, or like throwing candy to the crowds. You can't do that.
I think if you came to the board and you said, "Look, I know we're not supposed to shoot things into the crowd, but I want to get a T-shirt cannon and shoot shirts that say "Shut up, Brian" on them," I think they will all immediately grant you an exemption. Unanimous.
Or I think what you can do is you can hand them out to the crowd.
The T-shirt cannon's more fun.
Well, I agree, but or either that you shoot it, is one of those things. Do it, and it's easier to just ask for forgiveness rather than asking for permission.
What if you do that thing? You get two of your friends that will like hold either end of a giant slingshot thing, and you put the shirt in there, pull it back, and use that to fling it out to the.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then quickly hide the slingshot. Right.
There you go. That's how that works. So, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I could talk about my my Fun Friday.
Fun Friday.
Yeah, well, Friday I drove down the shore because we have half-day Fridays for most of the summer, except that you have to pick 2 to cover full day. So usually Fridays are a slow day. So this past week, we got a guy that works for our company that does video editing as part of his job. So he's got the most powerful laptop in the whole company because it's got it's a more expensive model that has a better graphics card built into it, that it can handle video.
So it's
editing.
like a gamer's machine.
Well, it's like a video editing machine. It's a Microsoft Surface, so I don't believe people are using these for gaming. But it's a model of Surface that comes with a decent GPU. So, anyways, but it was due for a reimage because there was some Windows problems with it that I couldn't resolve at this point, and it hadn't been updated when we updated our image to migrate everyone to Windows 10. So it was supposed to get reimaged, but he has like a 4 terabyte external drive that's encrypted. And the password was stored on his profile so that it would automatically unlock when he connected the drive when he was logged in as himself. And he doesn't know the password anymore. So every time I want to reimage it, he's like, "Am I going to be able to get into this drive?" I'm like, "Do you know the password for it?" He goes, "No." I'm like, "Well, that's your problem." But I don't say that. I say, "Well, you need to back that up before we can do this." And, that's kind of where
can he unencrypt it?
You have to have the password to unencrypt it.
That is a problem.
Even if it automatically unlocks when you go onto the tool and select the option to decrypt, it asks for the password. So this past year, we've been putting this off because he's never gotten around to backing up his 2 terabytes of data that's on this 4 terabyte external, and because that's kind of a lot of data to back up somewhere.
Yeah.
So, but now the company decided to buy a new 4K camera to shoot video in 4K so they could edit all their materials to be 4K video to, look forward to be compliant with current standards in video and streaming and broadcasting and whatever and whatnot. And so I asked him the question, and I basically opened up a can of worms by asking him this question, but if I didn't, it was something that was going to bite us on the ass later. And that's what I got to convince my boss's my boss's sideways. My boss's person that reports to my boss's boss. I report to someone, he reports to someone, there's another person that reports to that same someone that's responsible for buying the computers. So I don't directly report to this person that is now, being annoyed by all this. So I have that going for me. Anyways, when he tells me about this 4K editing that's coming up, I said, well, your laptop runs into problems editing HD stuff sometimes when you try to put 20 effects on something, which to me, it's like that's his problem. It's like, dude, your laptop handles what it handles. When you push it to the point that it freezes, that's because you're pushing the tool further than you can. He goes, okay, so does that mean you're going to buy me a new laptop? No. That means you need to learn how to video edit with the resources you have. But I don't say that. but eventually through a lot of...
Let me put it this way. Who's paying for the equipment?
The company. But
is it out of his budget?
Well, that's the thing, is that at the time... It was like, look you have to get done what you can get done with the tools you have. I can't make this do more. Now, if you feel that you really need a more powerful computer to be able to do that, then you need to go to your boss and she needs to go and get approval for that. And that never happened. So that kind of put that to bed. And so that left that with, the tool will only do so much. Figure out what you can do with the tool. So I kind of roundabout got him to that point. Like, look the problem that you're bringing to me is not something I can fix. And the only thing that'll fix it is a new laptop. And if they won't buy you one, then you got to do what you can with this. That
exactly.
That's but he's the type of guy that will grumble about, well, if Microsoft would fix their shit, why can't they? And it's like, and I get that. But a lot of times he's grumbling about things that I understand why it is the way it is. Like he'll grumble about, well, how come it doesn't automatically set up the monitors to the right position where they are? And I just want to flat out ask him, how is your computer supposed to know how your monitors are set up on your desk?
Let me ask you this question. Is the vendors that he's working with, do they require 4K or is this just what he wants?
These are decisions made by people that make more money than me. But he is being told by people above him that we are going to be doing all our projects in 4K going forward, and we bought a 4K camera.
Okay, so it's not his decision to do that.
It's not his decision.
He's just trying to get what the manager wants.
Right. So basically, when he told me this, I made
you say he had a 2 terabyte drive that you got to back up?
That was a side point of the story that we don't even need to waste any time on.
Well, the question is he getting a much bigger drive?
No.
If he's going 4K, he's going to need it.
Well, he's still got 2 terabytes free on this drive. And he's got other external drives. He's got another 8 terabyte.
Oh, he has 2 terabytes
somewhere.
free on, so he actually has a 4 terabyte drive.
Right, but that's not the point of the story. And we
right. Okay, let's go back to the story because I'm the interrupter, right?
Okay, so
I will shut up now.
So when he mentioned this to me, so mind you, he was due for a reimage, but it was working good enough that he could work. But there were little things that need to be resolved with a reimage.
Yeah.
And when he mentioned the 4K, I said, does your system meet the system requirements that 4K editing requires? And he goes, well, gee, I don't know. I'm like, well, they bought this camera and they're going to give you this work. You probably should make sure that, we're not going to be scrambling and, have an emergency on our hands.
By the way, do you know what camera is he getting? Did he get?
I don't know. It does 4K. So
excuse me. Most cameras that are out today do 4K.
I don't know.
But he didn't put together requirements that would include the camera that he has.
Shut up, Brian.
Well, I'm just asking. There are tons of questions here, and And it doesn't sound like he's providing those questions or answers.
Well, I don't care what camera he's using. I don't need to know what camera he's using. All I care about is that he's been editing in high def video. He's now going to be editing in 4K. It's going to put more demand on his laptop.
What editor is he using?
Adobe Premiere.
Okay.
So I basically said, check out what the system requirements are, and you might want to talk to your boss about that. And Using by chance watching, it writes in, if Google blows, then why the mention? No, that was just a joke. The ad that Brian got when he loaded the page was an ad for Google. So
yeah.
I always put them in the ticker, and then I wrote in as a joke, they suck. And Brian said that wasn't nice, so I said, well, I'll make it the opposite. So there we go. Music by chance suggesting buy a Mac. Well, no, that my boss's co-worker will not approve a Mac. That's not happening. We're a Windows shop,
right? And if you're going to use a Mac, you're going to use you're not going to use Premiere. You're going to use that other video editor. So people are abandoning in droves.
So that guy went to his boss. And they looked up what the recommended hardware requirements are for editing in Adobe Premiere in 4K, and they looked up another Microsoft Surface product that meets that specifications, and they sent that to the company,
Final Cut Pro,
and they sent that information to the number 2 in the company, saying, we're going to need this laptop if we're going to be able to adequately edit in 4K. Can you approve this purchase? And she said, yes, I approve this purchase. And then she sent it to my boss's coworker, not my direct boss, but a manager above me, and said, we need this bought. And he's like, whoa, why do we need to buy this? What's wrong with his current laptop? And it's like, dude, it's right there. The recommended requirements to edit in 4K is more than what he has on his current laptop. Let's buy him the more powerful laptop so that he can't come back to us and complain that we didn't buy. And he's like, well, what's wrong with the current laptop? And then that person's boss is like, well, it still needs to be reimaged. It's got some problems. So now that lit a fire under me. Well, you get his laptop reimaged. I'm not convinced we need to buy him a new laptop. So I reimaged his laptop on Tuesday, gave it back to him Thursday. Friday morning, he couldn't get into his OneNotes.
Uh-oh.
So I spent 2 hours on Friday trying to figure out where his OneNotes are, because he has no clue where he saved them, which to me that says if you don't know where you saved it to, you probably didn't intentionally save it somewhere. It probably landed in a default landing spot. So I'm looking on his OneDrive, which we don't use. I'm looking on his U drive, which is where it should be. There's a bunch of old notes there. Eventually, we found it on his desktop, which is a horrible place to put it, and would have only been there if he intentionally put it there. So he...
Right.
And it's like, my God, you had me banging my head on a brick wall for... But
right.
He didn't
I
mean
never
to do
save
that.
anything on my desktop. I'll throw icons on there. Point to stuff that I like or want. But the object itself should never be there. It needs to be in a folder. I'm going to be scheduling a follow-up call with him to move that off of his desktop, because, and I'll sell that to him real easily. If that laptop dies, all your notes are gone forever, and he'll be like, absolutely,
well, I don't want that.
That's right. Find a folder in your documents thing and put them there, and we'll back them up.
So it's like Friday was supposed to be an easy breezy half day where barely anyone's working, and I could just hop in the car, drive down the shore at 1. Instead, it turned into bang my head against a brick wall for 4 hours and drive down to the shore pissed off like, stupid OneNote, darn Microsoft. Why did they make it like that? But I got there and I had a beer and I felt great. But now, like I said, this guy needs a new laptop, but I got to convince a manager above me that he really needs it because this guy's hemming and hawing. I don't want to buy him a laptop. I don't want to buy him another one of those Surfaces. That's not the same as our other Surfaces. Then we got to maintain an image for that. We don't have the resources for that. And then it's like, dude.
There you go. So you don't want to go to 4K.
He already has a Microsoft Surface that's a different product as the other Surface. We've already established this precedent. It's gonna have to be upgraded eventually. You're not avoiding anything by not doing it now. But I can't say it. Here's the thing: I'm trying to get on this guy's team because that'd be a promotion for me. So I gotta play nice with him. Meanwhile, the guy that needs a laptop, we're on good terms because I keep solving all his problems. So if I don't get him this laptop, which number 2 in the company approved,
Right.
my name is Mud. But the problem is that when the guy that signs off on the laptop purchase came back and asked number 2, are you saying buy him this specific laptop, or are you saying we just need to provide him what he needs to do his job? She's like, yes, that. Make sure he has what he needs to do his job. Oh, okay. I think he should be able to do it on the laptop he has now. And it's like, okay, let's make sure that guy never finds out that that's what was said here, because he will like blow his top if he finds out that the guy who's responsible for buying computers is saying, no, we don't need to buy him that. So these are these are the office politics I'm juggling. I gotta turn around and dress up the story one way to this person, dress it up another way to this person, and hopefully at the end of the day, a laptop is given to that person, and this person's convinced that that's what we need it to do.
Oh, you want to hear something really fun? When you talk about office politics. So, one of the ways to be a successful business is to control your spending.
Right.
There's this one company I heard about. The CEO would approve everything that was over $100.
Okay.
Literally everything.
Wow.
So all he's doing is approving purchases.
Huh.
Okay, that's not a good way to do it. So what our company did, we're going to do one better. So there was a list of 23 managers. Okay.
Okay.
If you put out a request to purchase something, that purchase request we had to go through the 23 managers to sign off on.
So nothing ever got approved.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Whether you were related or not. So if you're in the IT department and someone buying a widget to fix a faucet, you're signing off on that, even though you have no idea what they're doing.
The IT manager is now responsible for signing off on plumbing.
So the 23 signatures to get it. Okay, that's approved. They get the equipment. Well, no, that's the purchase requisition. Then you have the purchase order, right?
Right.
That goes through the 23 signatures again, right? And then you got the purchase order, you get the product, and you get this invoice. That has to go through the 23 signatures again. Even though you have no idea what that widget was that guy in that department wanted.
Now, 5-Hit-Tune's got the solution to my problem. Very easy. You email number 2 and say, my boss said, F you, no laptop. Then he gets canned and you move in.
and suddenly you're using Adobe Premiere. It's like, shit, I hate this product.
No, my boss gets canned for not buying the computer that number 2 ordered him to buy. And I take my boss's job.
Oh, okay. I was grabbing the wrong chair.
Yeah. Mind you, I wouldn't mind video editing either. But anyways, we've reached the end of another fun-filled episode of
Insert Title Here.
But we do try to be educational here. And I know I've taught way too much here. I probably shouldn't talk as much detail about my job, because I know there are some people that work at my company that are trying to find this.
That's right. Hey, he works at Tharco.
He works at Tharco. Yeah, he was the video editor over at Tharco.
And Tharco no longer exists.
Right, yeah. I tell you, though, there was one person who was asking a lot of questions about the show, and if she ever found it, she would know exactly who I'm talking about. But anyways, Brian, what have you learned here this week?
So I learned that you want your boss's job.
No, I want... he's actually not my boss. But
okay.
I want a better job, though.
You want to move up in the company.
I want to move up in the company. Yeah, and
No problem with that. Actually, I left a company because I could see that there was no way to go.
And I learned,
You were going to be staying at that same level forever.
and
And I kind of, I liked the job, but there was no advancement available. So bye.
and I've learned that when I order a bunch of Brian Shut Up T-shirts for Brian to hand out to all his friends and family, I need to order them 2XL.
No, I'm not wearing all of them. Get a bunch of different sizes so other people wear them, and we don't want everybody to.
Okay, all right. But I got to make sure.
This little kid that wears a youth size. He's not going to wear something that's down to his knees.
Oh, he'll grow into that.
Well, that's true.
Anyways,
That's true.
it looks like someone that has come from a Twitch find recently is streaming live right now, playing the keyboard, named Love Thyselves. So I believe that was just mentioned on the last Twitch find. So we're going to go ahead and raid her. So thank you everyone for watching.
Yeah.
And you all have a good night, everyone. And we'll be back next week. And be sure to check out 5 Hit Dune on Saturday nights. And then Sunday nights with me. I am not Bob, because it's the Dune and Johnny show now. But,
Right.
You know what? It will not let me raid Love Thyselves.
Why?
I don't know. It says you cannot raid this channel. I guess she doesn't want raids. All right. Let's.
Well, why don't you go in there anyway?
She doesn't.
Well, how am I going to figure out who that is?
Well, I could. All right. So there's the channel. So I guess we could all click the link and do a rogue raid.
Right.
All right. Well, I will see you all over. All right. We're going to go over there now. In fact, I'll even bring it up so we could hear.
Be my homeward dove.
So there we go. That's who we're raiding. So everyone click the link. We'll see you over there.
All right, cool.
All right. Good night.
Night.